Shooting it raw?
Yes. Shooting it raw. Wait a second.
That looks familiar.
Okay, so it is a graphic of a very nice rendition of a map of the world that seems to have some raised in relief sections. So like the mountains aren't super raised, but you can sort of tell, like when I look at Canada, the Rocky Mountains are kind of raised. When I look here, well, the around India and all this stuff, it's just a mass of just mountain ranges.
Yeah.
And it's the world. It's a map of the world. Different countries, different colors. So, is this showing all the places you haven't been to, or you have been to, or like why
Is
are we
the
on
glass half full or half empty? I don't know. It's it's a political map with a little bit of topography on it, but again, I went on Google search, just said world map.
Okay,
so that's the essence of it. It's a map of the world, and it's I guess quite nice this one came last because the context for this has already been laid the last 3 photos and talking about it. I love maps. I love exploring.
I love
traveling, and
I love that you can talk about British Columbia with such authority and frames of reference and really because I lived in BC and I know about BC and then we're having a conversation about it, and then how many times have you been to BC?
0.
Big fat nothing
Big
times.
fat
Amazing.
I love maps, so I'm a geographer, and without having traveled to, I know a lot about places I've never been to and might never go to. But
how about Turkey?
I'd love to go there.
Okay.
I've only been to Istanbul airport a few times.
Okay.
Yeah, I can tell you a lot about mountains and places in Turkey that probably a complete waste of my time knowing about. But
So let's rewind the tape somehow, because I have to. In a sense, I have to share how it is that the cells in your brain and the experience and all this stuff. Because here, so let's just see. I'm looking at Africa. I'm looking at South Africa. And we can look at that. And most people can't say, oh, yeah. Like some people might be able to say, oh, I've driven from this point to this point on a map, which will be very small. But in your case, you could say, I took my bicycle from that point at the tip of Africa in a sort of weird kind of line all the way up to there.
I would like to add more lines one day.
Sure.
The kids are a bit of some people just keep on adventuring while they have young children. I mean, if they're making a living out of, doing big tours and then doing talks and things like that.
Right.
But yeah, I would like to add some more lines if possible.
So one guy I had on the podcast, he's won all of these Guinness Book of World Records, whatever. He's rode from from California to Asia in a rowboat, simply hand powered.
Across the Bering Strait?
Across the Pacific Ocean.
So he just went trans-Pacific, open ocean.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And he's done other ones too. Like he's won he's done this to raise awareness, but he's also done overland by bicycle. I can't remember specifically, but the one that stands out is that he rowed a boat, like hand-powered for months across the Pacific Ocean.
That's bloody nuts. I mean, because the ocean is merciless. It doesn't discriminate.
Sure. Not like Sudan.
Maybe if you're a woman. Honestly, going across Africa as a bloke on your own, no sweat. If you're a woman, you probably want to go in a group.
You're going to sweat.
Yeah, you're going to get some stick from some dodgy guys a lot of the time. But it's not something worth talking about for too long. But yeah, I mean, to go across the ocean is mental. I've not done any rowing. I've sailed. I've done a trans sort of semi-transoceanic sail. We sailed from Scotland once across the North Atlantic up to Svalbard. It's this archipelago of islands, 80 degrees north, so it adjoins the Arctic ice cap.
Wow.
And I had my head the first week up to an island called Jan Mayen. It's this volcano that just comes out of the North Atlantic. Yeah, it was a crew of about 20 or so.
Oh, wow.
On an 80-foot yacht. And we sailed past Iceland up to Jan Mayen. Sits sort of... the first week was just rough. We were beating into the waves. Force at 8. It was really bloody strong. I just had my head in a bucket the whole week. It was miserable. No. I was basically seasick most of the sailing trip. Oh, shit. So I survived it, but that taught me pretty quickly.
You're not a sailor.
I am, but inshore.
Got it. Wow.
Open passage. Yeah. Invariably, you're going to get swells at some point. I didn't get my sea legs, and I'm never going to get them.
So looking at this map of the whole world, you've been to Australia, you've been to Africa, you've been to Asia. What place is...
I'm half Scottish, half Kiwi.
Okay.
In terms of where my family's from, and then I've grown up in Hong Kong. So, Australasia, Southeast Asia, and Europe are pretty well frequented. I've spent pretty much all my time in those areas.
Sure. Either
based somewhere or traveling around. I had the Africa trip, so that was about 5 or 6 months on the bike across Africa. I had about a 3-month trip backpacking around South America and Cuba and Mexico.
Oh, wow.
So we got all of Central Asia.
Right. I'm just trying to I'm trying to remember if and why this is in my head. Did you do a kayaking tour or something? Like a long distance kayaking?
Around Hong Kong. I did a few COVID-induced, what do we call them? Stay ventures. It's like a play on the term staycation.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't go on a plane anywhere. You wanted to do an epic hike in the Himalayas? Can't go there.
Right.
You wanted to go kayaking anywhere, but you can't. We're in this bubble.
Sure. Like I'm trying to project myself into the brain of somebody who's like, fuck that, I'm never trying that ever. Like, in the sense of that there's something in you somewhere that lives in your cells that says, let's just do it. Let's just kind of, and so I've been with you out on, in a tour, on groups. You're not especially fast. You're not like racing. You're very you're always aware of the group. Sometimes you go ahead, you'll loop back. So there's also that supervisory, call it parental, sort of like, okay, I'm going to oversee the safety of the people. But for somebody to kind of tap into, like, why, the classic is because it's there. But why? Like, why is that in you?
Taking groups out, it's pretty tedious having to babysit people and watch them. I mean, it's not that much fun, really. It's nice. It's a great job. Very grateful, right? Like, we're out in the outdoors. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
But it's pretty tedious just trudging about. I'm not like a super ripped, lean, fast, fit. I'm not a fitness guy. I mean, I love a bit of a burger and coffee, whatever it may be. But that buys into my life philosophy. Just go for it.
Yeah.
Just do stuff. Just keep doing stuff. Don't wallow around. Doing the tours, it's fun, but I think because you're doing that most days with little groups, it does make you think, right, it's when we've got a quiet spell with the business and I got a bit of time, let's do an epic adventure.
Right.
Something, because those are the ones you remember.
Yep.
You don't remember
the usual, the mundane.
You don't remember going to Disneyland with kids or doing the Dragon's Back for the 5th time in a week with bunch of Singaporean people.
Hold on. So
Singaporean people are nice, but they're very slow.
First of all, just one more time so people know where to find you online.
wildhongkong.com. That's the business website. Nice. Just search for Wild Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And other than a few obscure YouTube videos or bits of content from other people, it's predominantly we've got that term, we've got that covered online. Yeah.
So in terms of what people can expect, because most people associate Hong Kong with the city, because that's what sells, right? It's the economics, the big city, the restaurants, the shopping. So what are some of the things that people can experience in Hong Kong that would totally blow their minds? Which to you is boring because you do it every day.
Yeah.
But you have to remind yourself, like, oh yeah, like kayaking with whales potentially, quite unusual, but a dolphin.
It's plausible.
Plausible. Okay, they're being very generous. Have you ever seen a barking deer from the water?
Not from the water. I've seen them on land.
The trail. Right.
They're around the villages here. You hear them at night. You hear them.
Yep.
Don't see them.
Yeah.
Well, they're nocturnal and very shy.
Yeah, extremely shy. But okay, so somebody who's like checking out your website goes, so what can I do with these people?
You might think of Hong Kong as a city, but 70% of the land area here is undeveloped. It's not that it's not a city, but it's cultivated. It's just landscape. There's jungle, coastline, beaches, mountains, hills. Mm-hmm. It's raw and unexposed. And there's 170 or so islands here, most of which are uninhabited.
Oh, okay.
So there's a couple of little stats that just sort of put it out there what this place generally is. If you look at it from above, it's mostly green.
Right.
The urban area is actually the minority of Hong Kong. So yeah, if you live here, that's all on your doorstep. And the climate's pretty warm. It's hot most of the year. So it's great for water sports. Mm-hmm. I think you can go to places with great landscapes, but if the water's bloody cold, it's not much fun to get in, even if you're gung-ho and want to.
Yeah.
But aside from typhoons, we don't get a lot of extreme weather or extreme wind. So most days you can go out and do an activity.
Right.
So running it as a business, we can operate most days.
Right.
And as someone coming here to visit, you can pretty reliably come here on holiday for a week and have a portion of that week where you're going to be able to go out and do stuff.
Yeah, and get fit and do amazing things. Okay, so what's the wildest thing that you've seen in your wild Hong Kong trip?
In wild Hong Kong? Oh, it's called Wild Hong Kong because we're sort of going outdoors and exploring things. But in terms of, what would you mean by wild?
Okay, let's say...
Because it's quite a broad word.
Right. Let's say in terms of fauna, in terms of animals.
Wildlife.
Yeah, wildlife.
I think on land, I've never seen a pangolin or mongoose. I've not seen sea snakes. There's a lot of obscure stuff that it says in a book that it's in Hong Kong. Yeah. I've not really seen any of that. You just see a bunch of cool stuff, but it's not like...
King cobras?
Yeah, you see different kinds of snakes or porcupines or monkeys or whatever.
You say it like...
But your mind's... Yeah, because when you do it frequently, it's not like mind blown.
I know what you
it's
mean.
Not like...
I know exactly.
It's noteworthy and it's special, but I wouldn't say that's the most wild thing I'll ever see.
Sure.
So, yeah, some of that really rare marine life was pretty cool.
Right. Rory Mackay is in the house, man. And look, this is, I think, it's been an hour.
That's it?
It's been an hour.
Damn.
That's all I can give you, brother.
That was good.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Cheers, bro.
Should we Yeah.
We'll go a handshake.
Okay, let's do it. Thank you so much.
Pleasure to be on the chat, mate. Thank you. All right.
So is life really a gift? Really? Can you make every second count? That's the whole point of the podcast. So if you like what you've seen and you're inspired, because that really is my mission, then please give it a like, subscribe, and share.
Shooting it raw?
Yes. Shooting.